Yeah. Hey man, with my real Dennis small, man. Feel me? Do the real nigga walk through for me, hey. I be feeling like the man when I walk through. I ain't stunned what you saying when I walk through. I got all these staring when I walk through. I done made a few bands when I walk through. Watch me, hey, watch me walk through. Watch me, hey, watch me walk through. Watch me, hey, watch me walk through. I done made a few bands on the walk through. I done made a few bands on the road too. People don't know now, don't talk to. Me and Parliament in the brief, he a boss too. Sitting at the round table making boss moves. I done walk through with Gucci on my feet. Who got more money, you or me?
Hello, I'm Cooper Mason here, and I'm bringing you a live debate right from Chris's basement in Dundas, Minnesota. We are debating which World War II leader had the biggest impact on the world.
Jack, and I'll be representing Stalin.
Hi, I'm Chris. I will be representing Hitler.
I'm Christian Vargas, and I'm representing Tojo.
I'm Armando. I will be representing Mussolini.
Who did you guys think had the biggest impact on the world through these World War I and World War II leaders?
Well, I believe that Hitler did because he created the Autobahn and that he used a method of a war tactic called Blitzkrieg that really was fast and like coming into countries and just helped him really just do his thing really well.
What about Tojo? He started the war with the United States, bringing more countries into the war because of the alliance powers.
But I believe Stalin was, because he implemented a very good healthcare system, and he also had a very good development of education and transport in Russia.
I actually think it was Mussolini because he started the war in Africa, at least started to help start it, and the Balkans, which really forced German troops to help him out there, which kind of really spread out their resources and everything, so it made Germany weaker.
Okay, but that's still, with Tojo, he kind of got the United States to bomb him. You know what I mean? Destroying Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Well, I think that Hitler had the bigger impact because he killed at least 5.5 million Jews and other victims that he just deemed socially undesirable.
Yeah, but see, Tojo, he killed in the Asian Pacific regions, killing nearly more than 15 million people. 2 million of those people were his own kind.
But Stalin killed over 43 million people, was responsible for the deaths, by forcing his own people, Russian people, into lethal forced labor, much like Hitler's technique.
I mean, so Mussolini killed about 2,000 political people, which is actually worse, I want to say, only because then nobody was there to stand up to him, whereas with Hitler, people actually tried to kill him repeatedly, along with Tojo and Stalin.
And as for positive effects on Hitler's behalf, I know that he created the Autobahn, which just created a better, efficient way to travel around the country. And I'd say that his one of his bigger contributions to Germany was that he knew that throughout his campaigning, he knew that he hated smoking and hated tobacco, so that was a really big thing for him as a political leader.
Well, Tojo, he was a very strong, well-disciplined leader, so people really looked up to him, and he knew what he was doing. So when something happened, they kind of relied on him, and he looked like he knew what he was doing more than FDR during the time.
For Mussolini, he reclaimed land for Italy, so this helped him have more space to build railroads, sports stadiums, schools, bridges, and other such things. He also had his farmers create or focus on more of a specific crop, so this helped Italy to become more self-sufficient. And then he also gave money to industries and for iron and steel production, and then he increased the use of hydroelectric power.
Stalin had a lot of positive effects too, such as the rapid industrialization of Russia and the development of education and transport to develop more a bigger, more reliable system. And also a big system of change was the idea of equality of women in the Russian society, and he also made a very good healthcare system.
And I just think that we shouldn't forget that the emphasis on rockets that Hitler had, it led to innovations like synthetic fuel and forward swept wings and other technology like that.
Alright, so all your leaders clearly had a negative and positive impact, but they were all also very bad. And now my next question for you guys is, who destroyed their country the most?
Alright, so Tojo had the biggest or ruined his country the most, because when he finally attacked Pearl Harbor, the United States came back with a bigger attack, destroying Hiroshima and Nagasaki and killing so many innocent citizens. And also with the attack on Pearl Harbor, it kind of led to the war crime, leading the execution of Tojo. So yeah.
Well, I think that Hitler really just didn't help his country like the most, because, I mean, in Germany, bankruptcies were increasing, farmers were hurting, and some middle class feared sliding into the lower class, and some of the middle class blamed the economic decline on employment being unwilling to work, while hunger was widespread. And Hitler was actually asked whether he was interested in again opposing the government by force. Hitler replied by supporting his movement was growing so rapidly that he literally said, "We have no need for other than legal methods."
But I believe Stalin had the biggest effect on his country alone because of the amount of deaths that he was responsible for, around 43 million of his own people in forced labor camps. And he also introduced modern communism, which is still basically the same system that's around today. And he also introduced the socialized farming method, which goes along with communism. And he also eliminated private enterprise, which affected the economy a lot, and he just overall had a very bad effect on the country.
Mussolini actually didn't have that big of an impact on his own country. That was like negative, really negative anyways. He helped to boost the education of children, although the adults he was less inclined to help. One kind of big thing that was bad though is he didn't help his army as well as he should have. They were really ill-equipped for war, so wherever he sent them and whenever he sent them, they just kind of got killed and broken, and it really wasn't good at all.
Not only did Tojo get the two biggest cities of Japan nuked, it also left it radioactive, so it was not good for the environment or for the people, so it was unlivable for a long time.
Well, that's a wrap-up, everybody. I'd just like to thank Chris Antoine, Jack, Christian Vargas, and Armando for coming here today and debating their personal thoughts. Please be welcome to comment in the section below who you thought had the most valid points and who had the biggest impact on the world.